Hello! This is our very first recording of Key Seed Piano Tutoring, our tutoring series. In this lesson, we're going to be going over hand fingerings, basic countings and notes and rests, and the basic components of reading sheet music. In piano, fingers are assigned numbers. For instance, your first fingers are your thumbs, your second fingers are your index fingers, your third fingers are your middle fingers, your fourth fingers are your ring fingers, and your fifth fingers are your pinkies. Notice that your left hand and your right hand are mirrored to each other. Now let's try some examples. So your first finger on your right hand, that would be this one. And then your fourth finger on your left hand, that would be this one. Pretty simple, right? Here are some real-life examples where you would see finger numbers in music.
Okay, now we're going to be going over two important parts of music, bar lines and measures. Bar lines are lines that you will see in music. For each area of notes, you'll see a whole bunch of lines, and those will be what the bar lines are. And between these bar lines is what's called a measure. The measure is the space or area between two bar lines. Also, each measure starts on 1. Now we'll be going over the two numbers at the beginning of music. These numbers make up the time signature. The top number represents the number of beats in each measure. For example, if the top number were 4, then there would be 4 beats in each measure. You do not need to worry about the bottom number for now, since we'll be using 4/4, the time signature you see right now, most of the time.
In music, there are different rhythms involved, which you must have noticed from listening to different kinds of music. Right now, we are going to learn about 3 basic notes. The quarter note, which looks like a golf club, takes up 1 beat of time. The half note, which resembles a quarter note but is not filled in at the bottom, takes up 2 beats of time. And the whole note, which looks like a donut, takes up 4 beats of time. What we mean by beats should become clear as the video progresses. Number of beats per note essentially tells you how many numbers of numbers are on top of that note. Does that sound confusing? Well, hopefully it'll clear up once we go through this example together. So first, let's look at the time signature. The top number is a 4, which indicates that there are 4 beats per measure. I'll circle it. So, here. Each measure starts on 1, so let's put a 1 on the first note. Now this first note happens to be a quarter note. And since each quarter note is worth 1 beat, that means only 1 number goes on top of it. So, 1 number. The rest of the measure consists of quarter notes as well. So that means each note only has 1 number corresponding to it. So it's another number. Another number. So, as you can see, the measure adds up to 4. Now let's go on to the next measure. Now half notes. These are worth 2 beats each, which means that there are going to be 2 notes per quarter note, per half note. So, 1. Start on 1 again because each measure always starts on 1. 1, 2. So, 2 numbers per half note. 3, 4. Notice again how each measure still adds up to 4. Okay, and let's complete the rest of the music. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 note, 1 number, and 2 numbers. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4.
Now we are going to go over how to clap notes. You will clap every time you start a new note. So that means that you're going to be clapping on the first beat of that note. You will need to keep your hands together for the rest of the note's beats. This is going to be really important because we want to show that notes can have different numbers of beats. Okay, so now we're going to be going over the clapping rhythms for the drill. So as I said before, when we're playing a note, we're going to clap it together like this and then keep our hands together until we have to change notes. So let's get started. So here we have our rhythm for the first measure, which is just all notes. So we're going to keep counting the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then after each line, we're going to start on 1. Okay, so here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we are going to do an example of counting with the keyboard. You can choose any note to do this exercise on. I'll choose this note to do it, for example. I'll do the first line and then I want you guys to try it at home. Make sure that you guys are counting out loud while you do it. Okay, let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you guys try it.
Rests are periods of time where you don't play, hence the name rest. The number of beats a rest is worth indicates the number of beats that you don't play. We are going to learn about 3 basic types of rests: the whole, half, and quarter rests. The whole rest is worth the same amount of beats as the whole note, which is 4. The half rest is worth as many beats as the half note, which is 2, and the quarter rest is worth the same amount of beats as a quarter note, which is 1.
Since rests are beats of music that you do not play, we do not want you to clap your hands on a rest. However, we do want you to keep your hands apart for an entire rest, because we want to show that notes and rests are different. So now we're going to be going over the clappings for the last part of this music. So this is where, for the rest, we're going to keep our hands apart. This is going to be really important because we want to show that there is a big difference between playing a note and playing a rest. When you play a note, you're going to put at least one of your fingers into the keyboard, so it should make a sound. If you're playing a rest, then your finger is not playing on the keyboard, so you would not hear a sound. For this keyboard in particular, you're going to see it light up whenever you press a note, but this isn't for all keyboards. So now we're going to get to the clapping of the last part I said before. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we are going to do an example of counting with the keyboard. Again, you can choose any note that you want to do this exercise on. I'll do the last line and then I want you guys to try it at home too, along with the rest of the exercises on the page. Okay, so I'll get started now. Oh, make sure you guys are counting out loud while you play. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to play a very basic song, Mary Had a Little Lamb. So this is going to integrate everything that we've learned in this lesson so far. So if you're young, you may want to get parents to help you with this step, but we need your first finger on middle C, which is this note. It's very hard to tell you where exactly this is on your keyboard since all keyboards are different. So I suggest that you look it up online
or you try to match the tone of your keyboard with this tone that you hear right now. And once you got that, put your first finger on middle C, and then your second, third, fourth, and fifth fingers on the notes to the right of it, so that it looks like this. So first, second, third, fourth, and fifth on the white keys next to middle C. And once you got that, you're ready to play. Okay, so as you can see, there are numbers on top of the notes that you're given. So the numbers represent what finger to use. And since it says right hand on the top, that means you're using your right hand only. So I'll play the first measure or two just to show you, and I'll tell you why I'm playing each note. And then I'll play the whole thing, and then you guys try it. Okay, I'm going to count out loud while I do it, which is something you guys should do too. So I'll get started. Okay, so the first one, it says use finger number 3. So I'm going to use my third finger on my right hand to play. 1, second finger, 2, first, 3, second, 4, then third, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how I did the first 2 measures, and now I'm going to play the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.